Good morning. Today is auspicious day for two reasons. The first is in Canada, we celebrate Mother's Day. The second is today is Shankara Panchami according to lunar calendar, that is the birthday of Adi Shankaracharya. So we thought of a little talking about the great Shankaracharya, who established Advaita philosophy on a very firm ground. It will be saying less that if we say Shankaracharya only was a philosopher and Acharya of Advaita philosophy. In fact, he revived Hinduism, he saved Hinduism and put Hinduism on firm ground. When Shankaracharya was born, before that there was a great upsurge of Buddhist influence in India. And after Buddhism being very much widespread in the land of India, somehow there had come some defects in practice of what Buddha taught and what is being practiced that time. And it was, though widespread, but there were some defects entering into the practice of Buddhism. And who will save the religion? How Sanatana Dharma, the eternal religion of the Vedas, which was discovered thousands of years ago, will be protected? Then the God sent Shankara. Shankara was a prodigy from very childhood. In fact, he was born, as many great persons are born, in a very poor family. Shankara's parents were also poor, and they were in South India, in Kaladi, in the state of Kerala. And they had no issue for a long time, and they were praying for a child. And they finally went to Thrissur, to a Shiva temple, and there they prayed for 48 days continuously. And after that, they saw in a vision that Shiva comes and says, you can have a child, but there are two options. Shiva doesn't give, yes, we'll have. He said, or gives option to the parents. He says, you can have a boy or many children who will be ordinary human beings. Or you can have a very brilliant child, one son, but he will be short-lived. Then parents were wise. They didn't say, give me this. They said, Lord, we don't know. Whatever suits us best, please grant that. Then Shiva said, then you will get the child who will be extremely brilliant and will have a very short life. They didn't say how short a life. And after that, Shankara was born in 788 AD in that obscure village in Kerala called Kaladi. And when he was growing, he proved to be a very great prodigy. His father died when he was not even 3 years, and everything fell on mother. He loved mother very dearly, though he had to take sannyasa will come. But his love for mother was never stopped. As we heard from the beautiful verse, Bhavanyastakam, 8 verses on Mother Bhavani. So his love for mother was always there, and love for mother, the great divine mother, and also those who love divine mother, they don't fail to love their own mother. We have seen this in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, who loved divine mother, always was immersed in the thought of divine mother, but didn't forget his own mother, whom he brought all the way, being a sannyasi, brought all the way from Kamarpukur to Dakshineshwar, and he must have requested the temple authorities to find a place and put it in a small room, just above where Holy Mother used to stay, very small room. And every day he used to go there and ask about the welfare of mother. Mother, how are you? So pay respect and welfare. He had that great affection, attachment, bondage for the mother who gave birth to this body was there. All great worshippers of Mother, all great holy men, even monks have that connection with the Mother because they find it is the veritable manifestation of the Divine Mother, Mother of all, in peace, or her own Mother. So, Shankaracharya had Upanayan at the age of 5 when he got the permission to study Vedas. At 5 years of age. And Vedas and scriptures are written in terse Sanskrit. Even the person who do masters in Sanskrit find difficult to understand the Vedas. This boy, after 5, started studying the Vedas, and within 3 or 4 years, he had finished the study of the Vedas. With understanding, it's not the reading. With understanding, he all finished the Vedas. Having studied the scriptures, he had a great wish to devote his life for God. That is, he wanted to have sannyasa. One side there was Mother, alone, no brother, sister, Shankara had. He had no father as well. How this comparison with Swami Vivekananda? Swami Vivekananda had brothers and sisters, but he was the eldest son who had to see his mother and family when his father was already dead. That time he decides to take sannyasa. It was a big decision for them. For Shankara it was the same. He wanted to have sannyasa. He felt that they know that they have a purpose in life which is greater than just to look after their mother. Their mother will be looked after if they devote to God. Never it has been that a person gives himself to some great work to serve humanity or to serve God and his parents are not looked after. God finds a way to look after their parents in a still better way. It's always been the fact. So Shankara was saying, Mother, give me permission to renounce the world. I want to give completely to the pursuit of God. I want to take sannyasa, become a monk. Mother, how can he give permission? She give permission to a 8-year-old boy. She said she was not agreeing, and they didn't know how long is the life of Shankara. Only Shiva has told, Mahadeva has told, he will have a short life. He goes to take bath in the river. Mother was on the bank, and he was swimming a little. Finally, he was seen drowning, going deeper and deeper into the river. Then he realized, oh, crocodile had caught his feet. One of his foot was caught by crocodile. He cried to Mother who was on the bank, Mother, crocodile had caught me. Now at least you give permission for me to sannyas. At least before dying, I will have this sannyas. I'll take sannyas. I will consider myself as a monk and will give up this body. Mother had no way. She said, yes, boy, I give you permission to become a sannyasi. As soon as Mother uttered this word, the crocodile left the boy, and the boy swam back to the bank. Strange things happened. Mother was very happy, but she kept her promise. Shankaracharya left his home in search of Guru. He knew where his Guru is. So he went finally from Kerala to Madhya Pradesh, the central India, from the southern India to central India. In Madhya Pradesh there was a great ascetic, he was very old, but as if something was preventing him from giving up his body. He was ready to die but was not dying, was not giving up his body. His name was Govindapada. He was that time practicing meditation and all that and waiting for the final liberation on the bank of Narmada in the place called on the bank of Narmada. It will come to memory the place. And there he met Govindapada, who was the disciple of Gaudapada, another very great scholar who had written Gaudapada Karika, very great Advaitis. All they were Advaitis. Shankaracharya is not the founder of Advaita philosophy. Advaita philosophy is already in the Vedas. There have been people who practiced Advaita, written commentaries on Advaita, but Shankaracharya made Advaita very popular. And he brought this philosophy of Maya and made the Maya thing very popular. Before Shankaracharya, Maya was not that very much made popular. how this world comes, what is the reality, what is the status of this world vis-a-vis the ultimate reality. So he brought the theory of Maya. Mention of Maya word is there in Vedas, but not as like this. And the Maya, equating Maya with the creator, Shakti, and this all Shankaracharya gave. And Govinda Pada asked him, who are you? He said, Shivoham, Shivoham. That one, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. He said, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. I am Shiva, I am Shiva. Govinda Pada knew he is an extraordinary person. He said, yes, I will instruct you into Vedanta. And he gave him sannyasa. And after giving sannyasa, he said, I was waiting for you to come. And he gave up body and samadhi. This Shankaracharya became a monk at the age of 8. Small boy. And had studied all the Vedas. Then he started writing commentaries on the Vedas. He wrote commentary on the Upanishads. 10 primary Upanishads he wrote commentary. And original thoughts, explanation word by word. And if you read his commentary, you won't feel it is written by an 8-year-old person. How deep knowledge, how deep wisdom of everything. And then he wrote commentary on the Gita, Shankara Bhashya, still so famous. And he wrote commentary on Brahma Sutra. These 3 are the basic scriptures of Hinduism. Upanishads, which is called Vedanta, and the Gita, Bhagavad Gita, and the Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra is aphorisms written to explain the Vedanta by Vyasa. So it took for him about 8 years to write all these things. And during this time, when he was writing all this, he started moving like a monk, like a mendicant, moving from one place to another, parivrajaka. And while on move, he started explaining Advaita and getting in arguments with the people who professed other philosophies, other thoughts, and everywhere he conquered them. And this is where he started already. And at the age of 16, when everything was done, then again the time came for his life was doubled by when he said, I will take sannyasa. He had, from 8 to 16 he had survived. And 16 what is Paramayu, the ultimate life was to end at 16. During that time, Vyasadeva somehow read and heard the commentary on the Brahma Sutra, which was composed by Vyasadeva. Brahma Sutra, the aphorisms from the Vedas, composed in such a way that it makes the philosophy of Vedanta. What is the philosophy of Vedanta? If you read Upanishad, there are many Vedanta things, and it's very difficult to understand. All these Upanishads he combined and made into a very aphoristic way into a book called Brahma Sutra, but written in very difficult to understand those things. They need explanation to be understood by common man. And Shankara's explanation was so good, he was very happy and said, Vyasa said, I'll give you double of your life. Now you will live more 16 years. So he was given 32 years of age by Shankara, by the Vyasa's grace. It was Vyasa who gave that divine eye to Sanjay, who saw the Gita, the conversation between Arjuna and Krishna that was taking place in Kurukshetra, and he was relating this whole story of Mahabharata war, not only the Gita, whole Mahabharata war is related commentary to Dhritarashtra in Hastinapura. That you find that somewhere some action going on and people sitting there like this and watching what is going on. Recent history of some recent few days ago, something happening in Pakistan and people seeing in Washington, watching and understanding. No divine eye needed, that we call divine eye. Something electronic eye that you can see the things happening. Cricket match being played in India and Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, and you sit in Canada and you can watch cricket match. So that time there was no TV. That time Vyasadeva wrote, Vyasa Prasadat Chutavan, Sanjay said, I heard this, I have seen everything by the grace of Vyasa. That Vyasa gave by his grace, given to Shankara. Shankara had a life of 32 years. Now Shankara starts moving. First he went to South India and he started finding his disciples also. First he goes to South India and slowly, and then he goes to Varanasi. You heard one story in Varanasi about how Divine Mother appeared to him and gave him that there is Shakti. You cannot deny. Only Brahman is reality and everything is false and dream. That won't be practical. You experience life. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, when thorn pricks, you feel pain and you say this world is illusion, this world is unreal. That won't happen. When you eat chili, it's hot. When you have cold, you have to procure some medicine. You procure some black pepper to cure illness, and still you say the world is unreal, it is Maya. No, world is very much real under the domain of Shakti. Till you have any identification with your ego, with your body, then you have take this world as real. You are under the mercy and domain of Divine Mother who has created this world. Call him by any means. Call him by Maya, Avyakta, whatever you call. Mula Shakti. But this Divine Mother is the reality as long as you have this Dehatma Buddhi. You have identification with body and mind. And you have ego of your own. Then Mother is real. How Mother taught. Similarly, Mother taught to Totapuri, you know this story. Totapuri also was that follower of Shankara, but he also didn't accept Shakti. There's something wrong in them, they're incomplete that way. Even Shankaracharya said that Shakti is true and so fantastic he wrote. His followers again say, no, this Maya, this is all dream, this is all illusion, it is all just I feel, it's not reality. But you feel in such a way, when you feel it is real to you. Shankara gave, there are three kinds of truth. One is called Pratibhashika Satya. Means when you are there, you feel it is true, like a dream. When you are in a dream, you feel dream is true. But this Pratibhashika Satya, when you feel it to be true, very few people are affected. Only who dreams feels that dream is true. Others don't feel that is true. This is called Pratibhashika Satya. Another is Vyavaharika Satya, empirical truth. Many people feel it is an ignorance, like seeing a rope as a snake in a dim light. Many people who go, they will all feel it is maybe a snake. There may be many people, there are very few who really feel it is a rope. So this is called Vyavaharika, empirical. For all practical purpose, it is truth. We see this world as variety of people, there are dualities, there is good and bad, there is heat and cold, there is pleasure and pain. This all is the fact for us. So this is Vyavaharika Satya. This is empirical truth. And there is supreme truth, Paramarthika Satya, which never changes. This world as we see, seeing a snake, it will change. It is because it is a rope, it is not a snake. So with the knowledge, that will change. So that is Vyavaharika Satya. For our action it is truth. But this is not ultimate truth, because it is ever changing. This, as we see it today, when we have different state of our mind, then it will have, we'll see this world in a different way. So it will change. This world changes every moment according to our mental state. So it is called Vyavaharika Satya. The third is Paramarthika Satya, the ultimate truth which never changes. If we see rope, that rope will be there forever. We have understood the thing. To explain the Paramarthika, you will say rope is also under Maya. It's true. Paramarthika Satya is the ultimate reality, that is Brahman, which never changes. So these three grades of truth, according to Shankara. So in this Vyavaharika Satya, it is not wise to deny the role of Maya and to accept the thing as truth when we experience it as truth itself for the time being. We know that it's not ultimate truth, but all for practical purposes it is truth for me as of now. What I see is truth. So Totapuri was talking, he also denied Maya. And when Sri Ramakrishna went to pray to Divine Mother, Mother Kali's temple, he was just smile in his mind. So why he is going, why is he accepting Maya? Brahma alone is truth, all this is just the reality. When you say it is so false, then why do you preach? Why do you live? How do you eat? Why do you want Sri Ramakrishna to learn Advaita? If it is all false, so you don't want anything. You don't survive. You don't want to eat also. So there is something you feel that you want to survive. So till you want to live and survive, where you lift the food from your hand and put in the mouth, then this world is real. There is Maya. So but he didn't feel that way, and he didn't accept the role of Maya. Only Brahman is there, role of mother. And one day he had terrible stomach pain. He wanted to concentrate on the Brahman, which he always had been doing, denying the body. He always could do that. That night, what happened? He could not take off his mind from the body. There was excruciating pain in the stomach. Something he must have eaten. They say he ate something in Bengal. It's difficult to digest the food in there, and he got sick. Then he said, this is the play of Maya. This is the play of this thing. Maya is unreal, so I'll give up this body. What this body will do? I will attain the truth. I know what is reality. Brahman is reality. This is the seeming thing. I will give up this. He goes to drown himself in the Ganga, and he cannot drown. Then he feels, oh, there is someone. Even I cannot kill myself by drowning. There is some power which controls this universe. Then he accepted Maya, went to the Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna asked him to go to temple, and there he goes there and prays to Divine Mother in glowing words. So accepts Maya like Shankara did. So once Shankara came to Varanasi, this beautiful another story that he had gone to take bath in Ganga, took the deep, and then was coming to the temple, perhaps to Vishwanatha temple. Then on the way he finds one Chandala, a very dirty looking man and outcast, going with 4 dogs. And he was in the middle of the small street. If you go to Varanasi, you'll find how small the street. I think that had been the time during Shankara also. Varanasi is a very ancient city. And asked to that Chandala to go away from the street so that he goes to the temple. Then he said, whom are you asking? He said, the Chandala, who seemed to be unwise, not clean person, unlettered, that outcast person. Others, go away, said. Gatcha, go away, please give me the way, go aside. Then this Chandala says, sir, you seem to be a great ascetic, but whom are you asking to go away? Are you asking this body which is made of food to go away? Is this another body which is made of food asking to this body to go away? So there is no difference. Your body is also made of food, my body is also made of food. So what is the difference? Why do you consider me as lowly? And if this consciousness, pure consciousness is asking to another pure consciousness, individual consciousness, that also doesn't make sense. If that pure consciousness is in you, in me also that pure consciousness is there. So who is really asking whom to go away? This opened the eyes of Shankara. The first verse that Shankara wrote, after that Manisha Panchakam. In first 2 verses he said what the Chandala has said. Annamayat annamayam athava chaitanyameva chaitanyat yativara duri kartum vanchasi kim bruhi gaccha gaccheti. O great ascetic, tell me, do you want me to keep a distance from you by uttering, go away, taking me to be an outcast? Is it addressed from one body made of food to another body made of food? Or is it consciousness from consciousness, which, the best among ascetics, you wish should go away by saying, go away, do tell me. So wide words hearing from this unlettered, uneducated, illiterate person, Shankara was dumbfounded. Then he realized he is not ordinary man. He himself is Shiva, and 4 dogs that he is bringing are 4 representatives of 4 Vedas. Though he looks so abominable, but he is very wise person. Then he realized that he is my teacher who taught me to see oneness in everyone. This samskara often, though to white men are also often deluded by this samskara that they say, the condition which we grow, the place which we live. That was the prevailing situation, distinguishing the different castes, taking oneself to be higher than others. That was the problem. And by this, Shiva himself came to remove this idea from Shankara's mind. that as a Brahmin and as a monk you are greater than the householders and the low caste. Shankara has to do this. Sri Ramakrishna, what he did to remove that caste that I am a Brahmin of high caste, this may come. Sri Ramakrishna was very particular about that no, this pride of high birth should come to him. No teacher had to come. Shiva didn't have to come to show him. He by his own self, he said, I have to remove that. He removed his sacred thread. He was growing long hair that time because of tapasya. And he then goes at night, dead of night, to a sweeper's, scavenger's house. And what he does there, he goes to the toilet. They don't keep very clean. Toilet must be very, very dirty. He goes to the toilet of that scavenger and cleans that washroom with his long hair. To what a degree of finding, giving up this pride, just pouncing upon the pride that may exist in any small degree even. I am not greater than anyone. Making oneself so humble, so lowly, one with everyone. That is great pounding of ego and pride, of high birth, and your richness, your scholarship. All this bring pride. Sri Ramakrishna always used to say, one who is learned, has studied more, is like the bondage. How many pas you have? Pas in Bengali called bondage, means some rope to tie up. And also pass means passing the exam. So one passes the exam from higher secondary from grade 12 to undergrad. You have another pass. You have been tied by another bondage because you feel I am more learned. So this feeling itself is a bondage. Like that he used to say this past. Shankaracharya, in his, after this revelation to him, he said, Jagrat swapna susuptisu spututara yasam vidut jimbate ya brahma dipipipala kant tanushu krota jagat sakshini. Then he comes to realization. If one is convinced firmly that he is that very soul which manifests itself in all the conditions of sleep, wakefulness and dream, in all the objects from the great Brahma to the tiny ant, and which is also the vibrant but invisible witness of all, then, as per my clear conclusion, he is the great teacher, be he a twice born, that is a higher caste, or an outcast. So he considers the Chandala as a teacher because he came to the conclusion and conviction that it is God that is equally present in all living beings. And anyone who understands this truth, this wisdom, can be a teacher. To say that only Brahmins can teach the lower caste is not right, that he said. And he said, Manisha Panchakam, the 5 verses of conviction that anyone who understands the reality is fit to be a teacher. That it is born of higher caste and they can have read the Vedas. You see, from this it is denied. But still after Shankaracharya it was contained into the medieval time that Vedas can be studied only by higher caste, only by male. So it had Swami Vivekananda and Sri Ramakrishna had to come to say, to proclaim that everyone has the right to knowledge that is contained in the scriptures. Everyone has the right to take the monastic life. Male or female doesn't matter. Brahmin or non-Brahmin doesn't matter. Everyone has the right, Swami Vivekananda says. After having this great knowledge of equanimity and equality with all, we know how the samskaras work. When I was reading this, I was reminded of Swami Vivekananda. When Swami Vivekananda was walking, and suddenly he found on the way, he was on the Paribrajaka, the life of a mendicant monk. He found one person was having smoke. Swamiji used to smoke and he felt like asking for him. That time there was no cigarettes and all that. They used to smoke in an earthen tube. They used to put tobacco and smoke and like that. He didn't carry, Swamiji didn't carry those things. But seeing one person smoking, and this is very customary that time they used to help one another. So he asked, can you give me to have a few puffs? Then he said, Swamiji, I am a low caste and you are a monk. How can I give the thing that I am using myself? No, please forgive me. I cannot give this and I don't have extra fresh one. So please forgive me. Swami said, yes, he is a low caste man. How can he give to a monk? I am a monk. He went a few steps And after going about a quarter of a mile perhaps, then he remembers, what I am thinking. I am a mom, I am a high-born person, and I am a monk, and I cannot have that from that thing that he was using. He was a low caste. He all traces back again in that while he was walking. I said, please give me. He said, no, I can give. He just pulls from his hand and he smokes from that. Just to this, how this samskaras work. In case of Shankara also, it worked, the samskaras. That he was a lowly man, please give the way, I should not touch you, like that thing. Shankaracharya on his sojourn throughout the India, he travelled. And what he did, he not only established the truth of Vedanta by argumentation and debate with other philosophies of Jainas, Buddhists, and other persons, even in Hinduism. But what he did is he revived many temples, rituals, worship, that all dualistic worship, which Shankaracharya was Advaita. But who revived the worship in temples? Many temples, just it had grown the forest and woods around them. The worship had stopped after the Buddhist invasion. So he said, he did that how this Hinduism, the Sanatana Dharma is great, and how different types of worships are needed for different categories of people. Some people need ritualistic worship to the idol in the temple. Some people need deep meditation. They may not ritualistic worship. For the majority of mankind, rituals, the house of temples, and some symbol of worship, all these are very much needed. And he revived all those. While he was going to establish this Vedanta is little in opposition with Karma Kanda. There's two things, Jnana Kanda and Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda are very ritualistic, saying that ultimate reality can be attained by performing and observing the rituals that is expressed in the previous part of Vedas, like recite mantras, perform yajnas, and you will get the fruits. The Jnana Kanda says, those are lower thoughts from lower people who want fruits from the world. The main thing is you have to have the knowledge. And if you know who you are, what is the reality, just that knowledge will give you all the joy that you seek. You don't need to do any rituals. So that thought of Karma Kanda was also prevalent, and his teacher was Kumarila Bhatta. Kumarila Bhatta was a great scholar of Karma Kanda at that time. And Shankara goes there and he hears Kumarila Bhatta is there. He is in self-immolation. Why he was doing immolation? He had burned a heap of the paddy husk, Tusha Nala, and he had sat inside that. Slow, torturous death he was accepting for himself. In the burning, this Tusha, he was inside that, he was there, giving up the body in that way. So Shankara said, I want to say that the philosophy of Upanishad is greater than the philosophy of Karma Kanda. He said, you see, I am here, dying now. How can I argue with you? You go to my disciple, he is Mandana Mishra in Bihar, and if you defeat him, I will accept I have been defeated. He was so great, confident of him. And why this Kumarila Bhatta, such a great scholar, was doing that? There is a story behind that. Kumarila Bhatta wanted to establish the Vedas, the teachings of the Vedas. So that time Buddhists were very important and very powerful. So he wanted to defeat Buddhists in argument. So for defeating someone you need to know their arguments also. So he wanted to learn the teachings of Buddhas. So he goes to one very great Buddha teacher and say, please teach me about the philosophy of Buddhism. That teacher will not teach if the person is not Buddhist follower of Buddha. Why will he teach a follower of Vedas? So he asked, are you a follower of a Buddha? He said, yes. He told lie. And he learned all the sayings of teachings of Buddhism. And then later on it was found that he was a Hindu, follower of Vedas. They made him out. Not only that, they wanted to say, you say that Vedas are truth and they will save you. Are you sure? He said, yes, Vedas will save me. They say, then jump from this hill to ground. Are you sure you will be saved? Yes. If Vedas are true, I will have nothing and nothing will happen to me. He falls down from the high cliff to down gods, and then he gets hurt in his eye. He said, why I got hurt in my eye? If Vedas are true, I should have been saved. Then why is God's punishment? Because he said, if Vedas are true. Little that, why if? He should have said, Vedas are true and nothing will happen to me. Because he had small doubt he expressed, that's why he got punishment. So after that, he went into argument with Buddhists and owned all arguments, and at the later age, he realized that he had spoken false to the teacher and he should get punishment. To get that punishment, he had accepted self-immolation in that slow fire. That was the thing of Kumarila Bhatta. Now Shankara goes to Mandan Mishra. How will he find Mandan Mishra's house? Somebody says, oh, you go to his house, he is so learned that even parrots in his home speak Vedas. He goes there and parrots will be speaking Vedas in Sanskrit, all speaking. Then he knew this is there. So he goes inside. At that time Kumarila Bhatta was doing some shraddha, some of his school rites, and he said, from where this sannyasi came on this shraddha time? From where have you come? This mundi has come. He said, Mandan Mishra said. So Shankara says, humorously, this has come from Agala, from how this mundi has come? He says, come from neck. This head is on neck. This mundi means one who has 7 head. From which the 7 head came? He said, from Agala. It has come from the neck. It's at the top of the neck. Something like that, humorously said. It's also written there. And there the argument comes. He says, I have come to defeat you in the philosophy of Vedanta, not the Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, in the path of knowledge. Then it was, then who will be judged? He said, your wife will be judged. Shankara said. Both agreed. And the wife, then they started arguments. Both were learned. Young Shankara, old Mandan Mishra. So this debate went on very long. For 15 days. Bharati said it is very difficult to give judgment. He said, I'll give garlands. His wife, Bharati, Mandan Mishra's wife. And whoever garland remains fresh until the debate is over, he will be considered as victorious. They put on the garland. Finally, around 15th day, the Mandan Mishra's garland started fading. Shankara's garland was fresh. Shankara defeated Mandan Mishra. That was a condition. Whoever is defeated, he will accept another person's lifestyle. If Shankara was defeated, Shankara would become a householder. If Mandan Mishra is defeated, Mandan Mishra will become a monk. So Mandan Mishra defeated, he became monk and disciple of Shankaracharya. Very learned man. And Shankaracharya made him a sannyasi and gave him Sureshwaracharya. Likewise, he has 3 other main disciples, Hastamalaka, Totakacharya and Padmapada. Once Shankara was moving like that, and one of the Kapalikas, that time there was Kapalika who used to give, sacrifice human body to propitiate mother. How this religion comes, you see. Human beings is such a great temple, and some feel that if human being is sacrificed, human body, then mother will be happy. That person said to Shankara, you seem to be a great person. If I could sacrifice your body, mother will be definitely happy with me and she will grant me whatever I wish. Shankara said, is that so? Give them sacrifice, you take me where I have to go. And Shankara started going to that Kapalika's temple, and they was ready to be sacrificed. That time his disciple, Padmapada, came to know that Kapalika has come to sacrifice the body of Shankara. Then he prayed to Nrisimha, the god lion, that human lion, man lion god. And Nrisimha comes and then he saves Shankara from Kapalika and brings him back. Like that, so many stories are there. Anyway, these 4 main disciples, Shankara, what he did, how visionary he was. He wanted to unify the whole of India, and he started 4 mutts, monasteries in 4 corners of India. In the north, he started Jyotir Mutt near Joshi Mutt near Badrikashram. He made one center of the study of Vedanta and the seat of monastic order, and he placed there Totakacharya. And everywhere he gave particular Vedas would be studied there, and particular great saying that Mahavakya has to be practiced by the people who go into the monastic order there. So he said, in the Joshi Mutt, this is the Atharva Veda has to be practiced, and there Mahavakya is, I am Atma Brahma. This Atma is Brahman. that Mahavakya, the monastics of there has to practice that. He established in the West, in Dwaraka, and there he put Padmapada as the in charge, first Shankaracharya there, and there he gave the duty to study Samaveda, and Tattvamasi as the Mahavakya. So, Ayamatma Brahma in Jyotirmat or Joshimat, and in Dwaraka, Tattvamasi. And in the south, he established in Sringeri and made Sureshwaracharya, this great learned disciple who used to practice Karma Kanda here, as the pontiff, first pontiff of Sringeri Mati. He called Sarada Pitham. There he worshipped Divine Mother. Still Divine Mother Saraswati worshipped in Sarada Pitham. So it's a monastic order. And people go there, and their Ajurveda is to be studied, and Aham Brahmasmi is the Mahavakya for that center. We belong to the Ramakrishna mission belongs to that Sarada Pitham in Sringeri. So that's our Ajurveda and Brahmasmi. Another in the east, he established in Puri Govardhan Math, made Hastamalaka as the pontiff, and Prajnanam Brahma, he gave that you should practice. The Mahavakya Prajnanam Brahma, the Brahma is pure consciousness, and Rig Veda you should study. Like that he did. And he established Advaita Vedanta. We said Brahma Satyam, he put his teachings in a 1/2 verse. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. Brahman, what the Advaita Vedanta is? Brahman is the ultimate reality, and this world is Mithya, and Brahman is not other than Jiva. Individual self is not separate or different from Brahman. Each individual self which considers himself as Jiva is in fact that supreme Brahman. And this world that one experiences is Mithya. By Mithya doesn't mean, illusion doesn't mean it's just like a dream, but as I said, it is Vyavaharika Satya. Swami Vivekananda said, it is a statement of fact that is Maya. And what he said the Maya? Maya, he said, Avyakta Namni Paramesha Shakti. Maya is the power of God. It is always with God. It is God manifested. This world is the manifestation of Supreme Brahman. It is inseparable from the Brahman. World as we perceive may be false, may be untrue, but world is in fact Brahman itself. In reality it is Brahman. There are 5 things the Advaita Vedanta says in everything that we perceive. Asti, Bhati, Priya, Nama, Rupa. There will be form of a thing we perceive, and form, either mental form or the physical form, and there is name given to that thing, and there is something exists, then that is recognized, cognizable, bhati, there is something exists and cognizable, understandable, perceivable, and it is dear, loving, something of love, something of affection, something of dearness is there. So asti, bhati, priya, nama, rupa, these are the 5 things that we perceive in the world. Of these 5, the first 3 are the qualities of Brahman, last 2 are Maya. But this Maya and Brahman are always connected. That's Swami Vivekananda said, this universe is a gross and perceivable by the 5 senses. This grossness becomes subtle and subtle and subtle. It tapers, that is the word of Swami Vivekananda. And it tapers into subtlety, and ultimately it's so fine, subtle, it becomes so subtle, then it's called Ishvara. Ishvara and his creation, Srishti, this Brahma, Vishwa are not 2 different entities, but 2 different forms in perception. This is gross and perceivable, that is very subtle and fine. In fact, Ishvara and this Jagat are connected together, the same thing. It is the same thing. So this world is not separate from God. Like that, this Jiva in us is the gross, we feel, we have the ego. But it's not totally false in a sense. It is misunderstood, but not non-existent something. It is existing something. So this is gross, perceivable. When it tapers into fine, subtle thing, then it becomes Brahman. So this Brahman, when it's perceived as Jiva, This Ishvara, Supreme God, is perceived as Jagat. And Ishvara and Brahman, they are all same, Ishvara and Jagat. Ishvara and Brahman. Brahman, when seen through Maya, Brahman is indescribable. When Brahman is described as creator, preserver, destroyer, as kind, compassionate, loving, just, and he has justice, all this when we call it Ishvara. So when we define Brahman, it becomes Ishvara. So Ishvara and Brahman are not different. But this is the way how it is seen. That's what that Shankara tried to explain his philosophy of Advaita, bringing the Maya. This Maya is something that is inexplicable. We cannot describe the Maya, but it is there and it is Anadi and Santa. When Maya started, when we started thinking of this world, perceiving this world, we don't know. But when we have full knowledge, it will be removed. We will be able to perceive Brahman, that bliss, Asti Bhati Priya. The Nama Rupa, which is transient, will be removed. We will be able to perceive everything, this very world, this universe, as Brahman, not as something differentiated. When the Maya is removed. So how to remove the Maya? The best way is to pray to Mother. If you want to realize the God as it is, then pray to Mother. Mother, please show your Brahma nature to us. And as long as we are in the Maya, praying to Mother. Mother, please protect me. As the Bhavanya Astakam said, Shankara, please protect me. And he was so fond of, today is the Mother's Day, he was so fond of this motherhood of God. In a praise to Divine Mother, he said, Mother, that Shiva, Mahadeva, had long locks of hair, and he used to smear the ashes from the cremation ground, from the fire, and he used to drink poison, was without dress, naked roaming person, and was moving with spirits and ghouls. That person became Jagadisha, become adored by the whole world as the Supreme God. What made him that worshipful by all? It is because you gave your hand to him. Chita bhasma lepo garalamasanam dikpatadharo jatadhari kanthe bhujagapatihari pashupati. For his ornaments he has snakes. Bhujagapatihari pashupati kapali bhutesho jagadi shaika padabim. He became one Supreme Lord of the world. Bhavani Tvat Pani Grahana Paripati Phalamidam. It is only because he took your hand, he got wedded to you, he got you chose him as your husband, so he became from this type of personality, he became the Supreme Lord of the universe. So great praise to Mother. Whomever Mother sends grace, he will have the transformation. Shiva, the abominable entity, became Supreme Lord because of your grace, because you chose her as your husband. So that's what it says. So today on this Mother's Day, how this Shankara, the follower of Advaita philosophy, that only one exists, but how he accepts Divine Mother as Sri Ramakrishna. Always if you read the Gospel, you'll find every page that worship Mother. If propitiate Mother, if Mother becomes happy, she can give you Brahma Jnana. Try to have love for Mother. Mother is the one who can be really pleased, who will take care of her children. How can we relate to God unless we feel Him as Mother, Him or her? So it's most greatest and closest and most intense relation between the mother and child. So God needs to be worshipped as Mother. And on Mother's Day, we need to see that motherhood in every individual, which is more manifested through the feminine body and mind. But motherhood is present in every human being. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Matri Rupena Samsthita. Not Sarva Narishu. Sarva Bhuteshu. In every being, not only human being, every being has this motherhood contained in him. So I bow down to the Divine Mother who is present in every heart today on this Mother's Day. Thank you very much.